Hello, this is the most interesting man in comics, and I'm here to talk about probably the most interesting woman in comics, and that is Wonder Woman. It's interesting because Wonder Woman is 75 years old this year, and we have two unique things about her this week coming up. June 3rd is Wonder Woman Day, official by DC, and then, of course, I believe she has a little movie coming out. So that should be very interesting. To give you a little background about Wonder Woman, she was created by William Moulton Marston back in 1941, right, during World War II. But it's interesting, he created her because he thought that he needed an ideal for the new woman, and leader, a kind of a role model, if you would. And his ideas, where they came from, are fairly interesting because he, back going through college and such, he was very much, he and people he was involved with were involved with the suffrage movement. And so he took a lot of those ideas of, suffrage and women empowerment, and he put it into Wonder Woman. But also he put in other unique ideas he had into it. If you'll notice, if you read the original strips, his own lie detector shows up a lot, but also he had unique notions of women and sexuality as well, because a little known fact about the creator is he did live with two different women at the same time. One was his wife, one was, I don't know how to, they didn't have terms for it at the time, but he had kids by both of them, and they were all raised together, so he had you almost could say, even though this was back in the 40s and 50s, it was more of a 60s free love vibe, which did, Wonder Woman was a part of. I mean, she was on the cover of the very first Ms. magazine, which very feminist sort of thing. But you have to remember, Wonder Woman's been around for 75 years, so there's been a lot of different versions and iterations of them. But so more than any character, she's kind of been adapted for her times and such. And I just want, as we talk, because you don't want to see my face, you want to see more of Wonder Woman. So as she's gone through, she's, reflected various different ideals and whatnot. She's probably changed the most out of Batman and Superman. Superman was, starting out, he was more of a socialist almost. He would protect the poor working man against the bosses and all that. And Batman's always been a vigilante, but Wonder Woman, her story has changed the most, and what she is about has changed, but her core concepts have remained the same, because there's some about beauty and grace, but there's a strength to her that everyone really appeals to them. Now, unfortunately, with women in strength this day and age, there's been kind of a Puritan streak to where she, sexuality cannot be part of strength, and women can understand that more than I can explain it better, but there is a way to be strong and sexual and pure and all of that. And that's really one of the few things that Wonder Woman has, struggled with over the years. But still, that shows you that over 75 years that she has gone through so many different changes and all that, and still, be so popular and such. And of course, there have been so many popular runs of her, like the George Perez version. And if you know anything of his background in his books, he's always been very respectful and believing in the power of women. And that's probably why his run was probably one of the more popular, not only because of the gorgeous art, and also the great Greek mythology. And he really intertwines with Wonder Woman, but he treats her with respect and doesn't talk down to the reader. And so, I mean, obviously I can go on to it, but we try to keep these videos short. I hope everyone, goes out, checks out the movie this weekend, and, and support the books as well, because she is truly a comic book character at heart. And it's interesting, William Moulton Marston, one of the reasons he liked writing comics, he quoted, was that comics was the next source of doing psychological propaganda to help inform people and, and educate young minds into, more woman empowerment. So that's one of the reasons he made the character. Of course, William Moulton Marston had a lot of interesting ideas, to affect people's opinions and all of that. But couldn't have been too wrong on Wonder Woman, or we wouldn't still be talking about her today. So again, I hope everyone goes out and sees the movie. Also, like I said, go to the local comic book shop and check out comics. And also, Dusk Publishing has always been very big and supportive of not only powerful women characters, but powerful women creators. Because Dusk Publishing is about, the majority is woman ran and such. I am just merely a humble person along for the ride, as you would. So again, check out Wonder Woman the movie, check out the comics this weekend, and check out Dusk Publishing. We will, of course, be at Acon, and you can come by our booth, and we may have a little surprise of a Wonder Woman poster that we're working on to get out. So that's all I have to say, and again, go Wonder Woman. Goodbye.